Getting the bar high, coming down underneath it. And here you're using a lot of quadricep or leg strength. Here's where your squat, the squat lift comes in, and developing the legs and the lower back and the glutes for getting out of that squat clean. And your military type pressing and your dumbbell pressing, shoulder pressing, bench pressing builds up the shoulder area for this overhead strength and support when you get the weight locked overhead. Now it looks, I wonder if this lift he got or if he missed the jerk on here. You want to be totally aligned underneath the bar. Perfect position on this one. That lift was completed.
I started Olympic lifting when I was 9th grade. I've always wanted to put weights over my head. And I saw on TV people lifting weights over their head, and I said, hey, I want to do this and go to the Olympics. And so I just naturally got into Olympic weightlifting, which are the lifts that they do in the Olympics, the snatch and the clean and jerk. Some free weights, I had free weights, and I just did exercises that would help me put weights over my head. And the Olympic lifting exercises would help develop speed and explosiveness so they could also carry over into athletic events. With a coach who figures out various intensities of how I'm going to train. Like I may squat 3 or 4 times a week, but one day I may use a 90% of my maximum, and where another time I'll use 70% to do more repetitions. So this way you don't have the element of fatigue in your workout. A lot of times I'll be working on technique, and other times I'll be working on power. And here we're basically training on the 4 days a week program. This week I did power snatches Monday, and then I did clean pulls, then I did front squats, then I did jerks off the rack. Tuesday I did power cleans, then I did regular cleans, and then I did clean deadlifts and light front squats. Then I also did a remedial bent over, putting the bar on your neck and bending over for the lower back. And then I'll have probably a pressing exercise once a week, and that'll either be a military press or a bench press. The bench press will alternate a pressing, either do a press one week, overhead press, and a bench press the other week. And then I'll do the classical lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk, more or less on a technique basis on Thursday with squatting and other type of pulling exercises. So mainly what we're doing, you're just doing a lot of pulling and snatching and clean and jerking with basic squatting, because the core of your strength is in your back and in your hips. And putting the weight over your head takes a lot of technique, and you have to just coordinate your whole body throughout. So I start preparing 12 weeks before a competition. The first 6 weeks will be called my preparation cycle, where I'll use a lighter weight and more of a repetitions and more reps through that week. Whereas in a contest week, I'll use a heavier weight and concentrate more on technique work. In the approach to the contest, I'll be using heavier and heavier weights and keeping the repetitions down to maybe only singles or doubles. Whereas in the preparation, I could be using up to 10 to 12 repetitions in the squats or 5 to 3 repetitions in the pulls.
Okay, here we have an outdoor competition in the overhead lifts, which is the clean and jerk. This was a clean and jerk contest at an outdoor affair, and they only did the clean and jerk. Normally in competition you see the snatch and clean and jerk. You can see the competitor coming up to the bar, getting set, getting his grip. When he's ready, pull, get under the weight, stand up with it, get set, get a little dip, jerk it overhead, lock it, hold it, stand together to get his cards, and it looks like the cards are white, which would be a good lift. You have to hold the lift up there until the judges signal, the head referee, to tell you to down. Age in basically in Olympic weightlifting, maximum age level is about 35, but you see some older fellas in competition that kind of hang in there. That was a good lift. Here we see the fella getting set at the bar, cleaning the weight, getting set, getting up with it. He's on the seat of feet alignment. He has pretty heavily wrapped knees on that. Must have a knee problem. Okay, staying on the platform. Bingo. Looks like good lift. He had 3 whites.
You explain the difference between sets and reps?
Okay, sets and reps. Well, sets are the number of times you perform the exercise. Reps are the number of times the exercise itself is performed. In other words, you do 3 sets of 10 reps. So you'll do the exercise 10 times, take a rest, do the exercise again 10 times, take a rest, do the exercise again 10 times and take a rest. You have now performed 3 sets of 10 repetitions.
What effect does changing one or the other of those factors do on a person?
Okay, if you're out for weight reduction and muscle tone, you're working in the neighborhood from 12 to 15 repetitions or higher. If you're looking to gain weight and put size and muscle on, you're looking at 8 to 6 repetitions.
What are some of the common mistakes you see people making?
Common mistakes is overtraining. You figure that if you do 3 body parts a day and 30 sets of body part, you're going to get big and strong and better faster. The thing you're doing is you're overtraining the body, overtaxing it, and you're really not going to get the gains. You basically should take a program that takes you about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to do and consists of 2 body parts, 30 sets total. That's an average program. I've seen fellas already in the gym that did 50 sets for 1 body part and wondered why they couldn't gain anything.
Is there a set time that someone can expect results?
Basically, the time to expect the results out of a training program would be in the neighborhood of about 6 to 7 months, because your first 3 months is the basic preliminary of getting your body ready for a program, and then it takes about another 3 months to start to see results.
Okay. Then how about the time they should put into each of these different programs? Can they, when can they expect to change one?
Oh, yes, because what happens, our body gets used to a program, and you'll get to a point where you're not going to feel like you're gaining anything anymore. Is because your body gets used to a set pattern. You do this exercise on this day and this grouping of exercises, so you have to more or less shock the muscle and shock the body. And the program should be changed at least every 60 days.
Are there any side effects to lifting that someone should look up, like muscle bound or tiredness? Or
muscle bound is a fallacy, because that's restriction of movement of the muscle is where you lose your flexibility range, that you're not able to touch your shoulder or go down and touch your hands on the floor flat-footed. There is no such thing as muscle bound. Your muscles do not become bound. They enlarge, so the movement becomes less because the muscle is larger.
Okay, in your over 20 years experience in lifting, what advice would you have for someone who's going to get started?
In what particular part of lifting?
If you had one thing to say to someone who wants to just lift in general, kind of a hint, tip, or something like that, what would you tell them?
I think that'd be the best thing that they could do to their life, is get involved in a good weight training program just for general toning and developing of muscle, and start out with a basic program. So many people start out, they try to start out with the advanced program right from the beginning, and in the first couple weeks they get so sore and the muscles hurt so bad that they said, if this is the way exercise is and weight training is, I don't want any part of it. And what happens is they get disillusioned and they fall away from the sport.
Is there an ultimate program you recommend for anyone?
An ultimate program? I don't think there really is an ultimate program out there for people in general, because every person that starts on a program is different. That's human nature. Our complexities, our metabolism, our body structure, our bone structure. Each person is different, and each person got to apply a program to fit their need.
And how will this tape help the beginner in getting started in weightlifting?
This tape is the basic. This is a general program for everybody concerned. It's the point when they get beyond this where they have to alter or change their training program to their structure and to their need.
So you can see there's a lot more to weightlifting than the average person realizes. You have to know how to do the exercises, what kind of exercises there are,
and the proper way to choose exercises for a training program. You have to know how to put them together, how to integrate weights, sets, and reps, and what they mean. You have to know proper diet and techniques. You have to know what to watch out for, how to eat right. Just resting and how to fit that in your program is important. How to have access to weights, the need for a coach. All kinds of little things that the beginner who wants to start wouldn't normally know how to do or get started on it. All of this has been covered, and if you need to go back, stop the tape, rewind it, and pause on those sections that you have questions about. Study the charts and pay close attention to what the narrator has to say about what he did and how he did it. So the easy part is over. Now you have the knowledge. You know how to do it and what it takes to start weightlifting. So the hard part is up to you. You've got to go out and use what you know to start lifting. It's going to take a lot of hard work and effort, but that's what it's all about. If you want to accomplish your goals, which you have, use the information you now have and go do it. Start weightlifting.